Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my first picks episode for UFC on ESPN+26, Felder versus Hooker. That's going to be in Auckland, New Zealand. So I'm going to start with, let's do some locks of the night. My biggest lock of the night, I'm going to say, is going to be Jalin Turner. After watching Culibao's last two fights, he seems like a regional level talent at best. Even though he won the featherweight championship in two different promotions, it was vacant in both promotions, and he fought a 35 and a 36-year-old. The latter has gone on to lose his next three fights after fighting Culibao, and has lost his last five. I'm not really impressed with Jalin Turner that much either, but he'll definitely be the bigger man. I expect him to stick to the outside and keep Culibao at range. It's also Culibao's UFC debut, and generally most fighters tend to struggle and lose a large percentage of the time. I really think Jalin Turner could get a finish here. Otherwise, he'll for sure get the decision victory. My second lock for the night is going to be Kenan Song. He should be able to win by decision at minimum. I think he has a pretty good chance for a stoppage here. I was a little bit worried seeing how gassed he was at the end of the Krantz fight, and Song's losses against Morono hasn't aged very well, with Morono getting starched by promotional newcomer Chaos Williams in only 27 seconds on UFC 247. Although Morono was on a 3-fight win streak before that. Song has some nice spinning kicks from a distance. He's pretty good at timing those. He's also utilized more kicks from a distance in general in the Krantz fight, I noticed. He targeted the legs and the body well. Song is a bit of a slow starter. He'll often lose or kind of leave the first round a little too close for comfort. Defensively, he's pretty responsible, particularly at distance. He's pretty good about judging the distance defensively. I did notice he gets caught on the inside sometimes. He doesn't seem to see the punches as well at that range. And even after saying all that, I still think that he should win versus Callan Potter. Potter has a tendency to pull guard after failing a poor takedown attempt, and I think it'd be a very bad decision for him to do that against Kenan Song. Potter also easily gets stung by power shots, and defensively doesn't seem intelligent enough. I think Kenan Song should be able to get a stoppage here as well. But otherwise, yeah, minimum, like I said, he'll win by decision as well. So my underdogs of the night, or underdog of the week, I'm going to say Emil Meek. I know he lost his last two really tough fights for him, but he showed that he has a pretty good gas tank. Even when he was pretty tired, he had really fast hands. He showed an urgency to get up if he's taken down, and he showed pretty good defensive wrestling as well. I know those two losses were real tough. They were real grinding opponents, but I thought he still showed a pretty good account of himself. I really don't rate Jake Matthews' wrestling at all, and I'm just not very high on him as a fighter. I'm picking Meek as my underdog of the card. Some honorable mentions, I'll say, would be Cachoeira and Lookboonmee as dogs in that order. I think Cachoeira could outwork Dobson en route to a decision win. Even though Lookboonmee is lacking in size, she makes up for it with work rate, ferocity, and relentlessness. I can see her getting inside and roughing Angela Hill up en route to a decision win here as well. As far as the main picks on the card, Felder versus Hooker, I really like both these guys. I think they're real tough. If you're doing MMA math, you'd see that Hooker got beat by Barbosa and Felder won that decision, although that was a really close fight. Felder is real tough, man. I think that either way, this one's going to get grinded out to a decision here. Exactly who will win, I'm not certain. But I'm going to go with Dan Hooker here. I think that he just has a better trajectory right now. If it does go to decision, I think that he'll get the nod since it's in New Zealand. But I really think Paul Felder has a pretty good shot here, particularly if it gets on the ground. We haven't seen a ton of Hooker's groundwork, and I also think that Felder could attack the legs like Barbosa did pretty effectively, and maybe kind of slow Hooker down and then start to rough him up. But like I said, I'm going to go with Hooker here, and those are my picks for this card. That is UFC on ESPN+26, Felder versus Hooker. Thanks for tuning in. This is my first picks episode. Check back next week. We'll go over how well the picks did, and do some new picks for the next card. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great one, and bye-bye.